कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरवरधारी जय गिरवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरवरधारी जय गिरवरधारी जय जय यशोदानंदना जय ब्रज जन रंजना जय ब्रज जन रंजना जय यशोदा जय यशोदानंदना जय ब्रज जन रंजना जय ब्रज जन रंजना जय यशोदानंदना जय जमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय जमुना जय जमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव श्री राधे जय राधा जय राधा गिरिधारी राधे जय राधा गिरिधारी राधे जय गौर निताय गौर निताय जय गौर निताय जय गौर निताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभु जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव देव गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव श्री राधा गिरिधारी भगवान की जय श्री राधा माधव भगवान Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mama Jnanatimarantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksharanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale स्वरूपकदामायं ददाति स्वपन्दाकृतम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं अद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम् श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखावितं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते Hare Krishna, everyone. So first of all, we'll read from Prabhupada Lilamrita, page 82. The title of the chapter is How Shall I Serve You? Okay, the speech continued. describing the horrible consequences of a misspent human life. Misspent human life. The sufferings of repeated birth and death. Again and again, Abhay stressed the need to surrender to the spiritual master. He criticized empirical, mundane philosophers, godless politicians, and blind sense gratifiers. He repeatedly pointed to the soul's natural and sublime position as the servant of God and as the servant of the pure devotee of God. Abhay, an initiated disciple of his spiritual master for a little more than 2 years, referring to himself as a student, continued. So Prabhupada is giving a speech, which is continued here. Gentlemen, although we are like ignorant children in the knowledge of transcendence, still His Divine Grace, my Guru Dev, has kindled a small fire within us to dissipate the invincible darkness of empirical knowledge. And we are so much so on the safe side that no amount of philosophical argument of the empiric schools of thought can deviate us an inch from the position of our eternal dependence on the lotus feet of His Divine Grace. That is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And we are prepared to challenge the most erudite scholars of Mayavad school on this vital issue, that the personality of Godhead and His transcendental sports in Golok alone constitute the sublime information of the Vedas. He then ended his speech with an eloquent prayer of submission. So Prabhupada is ending his speech and he's saying, personally, I have no hope to have any direct service for the coming crores of births and of the sojourn of my life. But I am confident that someday or other I shall be delivered from this maya of delusion in which I am at present so deeply sunk. Therefore, let me, with all my earnestness, pray at the lotus feet of my Divine Master to let me suffer the lot which I am destined to do for all my past misdoings, but to let me have this power of recollection that I am nothing but a tiny servant of the Almighty, absolute Godhead, realized through the unflinching mercy of my Divine Master. Let me therefore bow down at His lotus feet with all the humility at my command. So beautiful prayer and speech by Srila Prabhupada. His, so we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada, Lila Mritaki, Jai, Srila Prabhupada. So what are the key points in this reading? Anything did you caught your mind? Yes, that you. Anyway. Yeah, that's the first part of the very nice. You can remember, recollect. Yeah, we are misspending our life, wasting our life. Basically, those who are not in the process of devotional service, they are wasting their lives. And here I says, Abhay stressed the need to surrender to the spiritual master, the need to surrender to a pure devotee so that he can guide us. And with his blessings and mercy, we will be able to move forward in our spiritual journey. So there is a need. Even Lord Krishna said that, isn't it? That vidhi pranipatena. You must surrender to a spiritual master, learn. Because they have seen the truth, they have realized the truth, they will be able to pass it to us, bless us. So we can also follow in the footsteps. In the Ramayana it says, Guru bina bhav nidhi taray na koi, jo shankar viranchi sam hoi. I don't know who is speaking this chopai, but it says, Guru bina bhav nidhi taray na koi. Nobody can cross this material existence of cycle of birth and death without a guru, without a spiritual master. No one. Oh, even though they are as strong as Shankar, means Lord Shiva, and Viranchi means Lord Brahma. Even though they are as strong and powerful as Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma, we ordinary living entities, without the blessings and submissive, our submission to a spiritual master, we cannot go out of the cycle of birth and death. We cannot ourselves. We need somebody to pull us out. We are all drowning in this material existence and we are caught up. So those whose hands are free, only they can pull us out. And they are the spiritual masters. They are not bound. They are free because they are pure devotees of the Lord and they can catch us up and pull us out of the ocean of birth and death. So this is the main point Prabhupada is mentioning here. And then finally he said, I'm nothing but a tiny servant of the Almighty Absolute Godhead, means Radha and Krishna, realized through the unflinching mercy of my Divine Master. I did not know Radha and Krishna, Prabhupada. It's because of the mercy of my spiritual master, now I understand a little bit. And then he finally says, let me therefore bow down at his lotus feet with all the humility at my command. So bowing down, so important. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita ki jai. So we'll be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 19, Text 28. And the title is King Prithu's 100 Horse Sacrifice. King Prithu is the son of Vena, right? And now there's some mention of Vena's grandson, or King Prithu's son in this. I will touch on that a little bit. So let's chant the verse, which is not easy. I'll try. So we'll read word by word first, and then we'll try to chant. Everyone repeat after me. Vayam marutvantam ihartha nashanam havyamahe twach shravasa hatvisham ayatya mopa havair anantaram parasya rajan jubham tehitam vayam yes, I will chant. I'll try to chant. Vayam marutvantam iharthanashanam marutvantam iharthanashanam vayam marutvantam iharthanashanam vayam marutvantam iharthanashanam havyamahe tvachravasa hatatvisham havyamahe tvachravasa havyamahe tvachravasa hatatvisham हव्यामहे त्वच्छ्रवसा हततुषम् अयात्यमोपहवैरनन्तरम् 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 परस्य राजन् जुह्वामते हितम् परस्य राजन् जुह्वामते हितम् परस्य राजन् जुह्वामते हितम् जुह्वामते वयं मरुत्वन्तं यार्तनाशनम् वयं मरुत्वन्तं यार्तनाशनम् हव्यामहे त्वच्छ्रवसा हततुषम् अव्यात्यमोपहवैरनन्तरम् परस्य राजन् जुह्वामते हितम् Yeah. वयं मरुत्वन्तं यार्तनाशनम् हव्यामहे त्वश्शवसा हतातुषम् अत्यायामोहपहवैरनन्तरम् परस्य राजन् जुह्वामते हितम् वयं मरुत्वन्तं इहार्थनाशनम् हव्यामहे त्वश्शवसा हततुषम् अयात्यमोपहवैरनन्तरम् परस्य राजन् जुह्वामते हितम् वयं मरुत्वन्तं यार्तनाशनम् अयात्यमोपहवैरनन्तरम् परस्य राजन् जुह्वामते हितम् वयं मरुत्वन्तं यार्तनाशनम् हवयामहे त्वच्छ्रवसा हततुषम् अयात्यमोपहवैरनन्तरम् परस्य राजन् जुह्वामते हितम्. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for trying. We are all trying. So repeat. Vayam, we. Marut, Bantam, King Indra. Iha, here. Artha, of your interest. Nashanam, the destroyer. Havayamahe, we shall call. Tvat Shravasa, by your glory. Hata Tusham, already bereft of his power. Ayat Yam, never before used. Upavahe, by mantras of invocation. Anantram, without delay. Prasahya, by force. Rajan, O king. Juhavam, we shall sacrifice in the fire. Te, your. Ahitam, enemy. Okay. So translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So translation, dear king, Indra's powers are already reduced due to his attempt to impede the execution of your sacrifice. We shall call him by Vedic mantras, which were never used before, never used, and certainly he will come. Thus, by the power of our mantra, we shall cast him into the fire because he is your enemy. Please repeat after me. Dear king, Indra's power are already reduced due to his attempt to impede the execution of your sacrifice. We shall call him by Vedic mantras, which were never used, which were never before used, and certainly he will come. Thus, by the power of our mantra, we shall cast him into the fire because he is your enemy. So I'll read that once more. Dear king, Indra's powers are already reduced due to his attempt to impede the execution of your sacrifice. We shall call him by Vedic mantras, which were never before used, and certainly he will come. Thus, by the power of our mantra, we shall cast him into the fire because he is your enemy. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. By chanting the Vedic mantras properly in a sacrifice, one can perform many wonderful things. In Kali Yuga, however, there are no qualified brahmanas who can chant the mantras properly. Consequently, no attempt should be made to perform such big sacrifices. In this age, the only sacrifice recommended is the Sankirtana movement. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Krishna Goswami. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Bhakti Vedanta Swami. All right, so the title is King Prithu's 100 horse sacrifices. In Sanskrit, horse sacrifice is known as Ashwamedh Yagna. Ashwamedh Yagna. In those times, they were killing the horses and putting in the Yagna. And they gave new life, not to eat the horse. And then after that, with the power of the mantra, the horse came into a new life in a better body, maybe human body. We don't know, but better stage going up. So that the priests in those times were so powerful. By just using mantras, they could do wonderful things. They were quite elevated souls, those priests. Okay. So Prithu Maharaj was doing 100 Ashwamedh Yaj. He has completed 99. Now we are reading the 100th horse, which was left to be sacrificed. Okay, so this is the katha for that one. So 99 is already successful. This is the 100th one, and somebody got irritated and scared. Who do you think got irritated and scared? Indra. Indra is always like that. If somebody, if you perform 100 Ashwamedh, you are ready to take the post of Indra. You'll be the next Indra. So Indra got, he didn't want to give up Indralok. His position is a position. Indra is a position, it's not a personality. Anyone can become Indra if you are able to perform 100 Ashwamedh Yagna. You are ready to go in Swargalok and be the king there. He is the king of the heavens, heavenly planets. So he got very worried. If Prithu Maharaj is going to perform this yagna successfully, I'll be in big trouble. He will take my position. So this is happening in the world nowadays. To become a prime minister, to become a president, to be nominated as a minister, people are working very hard. They don't want to leave that position. Okay, not even that, even any organization, there are people who go for positions. They want man and pratishtha and all those things. I want to rule. I am the Ishwara, something like that. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna, you have that tendency to rule. Anyway, so let's see what happened then. So what did Indra do to impede the sacrifice? So first of all, we'll see what are the key points there in the first, in the translation. I made some notes. So King Prithu was performing his last 100th sacrifice, Ashwamedh Yagna, horse sacrifice. And Indra, as I mentioned, got very worried, and he was worried about his position in the heavenly planets. So he tried to stop or become an obstacle, so that sacrifice is not successful. So what do you think he did? Yeah, he became invisible. They can't do anything. Invisible means you can't see him, but he's present. So he became invisible. He went, and when everyone is busy, he took the horse slowly. And then he was going back to taking the horse to his kingdom, heavenly planets. But he didn't know someone was watching him. Someone could see him more. One of the sages, Atri Muni, saw him taking the horse. So he told King Prithu's son. He was later given a beautiful name. I have written it somewhere. He told the Prithu's son, and he was very powerful too, because Prithu Maharaj was an incarnation of Lord Krishna, very powerful. So his son was also not ordinary. So he went after Indra. And when he saw Indra, he saw him in sannyasi dress, matted hair, and dhoti and kurta. And he thought, he's a sage, he's a sadhu. I can't kill him. So he left and came back. When he came back, Indra is still going because it's so far. Heavenly planets is so far. When he came back, Atri Muni found out that he came without the horse. Then he called him and told him again, no, Indra is cheating you. That's Indra. He's not a sadhu. He's not a sannyasi, although he's wearing all this. So go back and get the horse. And then he went back. And when Indra saw that he is coming, he's really serious now, he left the horse and ran away. So he brought the horse back to the arena of sacrifice, where the priests were. So then they were again performing all the puja, they started getting ready to sacrifice the horse. Indra didn't leave. He came again, second time, to take the horse. He was so after his position, very worried. So he came again and took the horse invisible, took the horse back, was going. And then Atri Muni sent this Maharaj Prithu's son again to him to get the horse back. It is this katha is just in the previous verses. I'll just read one of that. The great sage Atri again pointed out to the son of King Prithu that Indra was fleeing through the sky. The great hero, the son of Prithu, chased him again. But when he saw that Indra was carrying in his hand a staff, the danda, with a skull at the top, a different kind of sannyasi, not our Vaishnava sannyasi, with a skull on the danda. We don't have our sannyasi having skull on the sannyasi road. And was again wearing the dress of a sannyasi. He still chose not to kill him. That was that first part. And then, so Indra abandoned. Okay. When the great sage Atri again gave directions, the son of King Prithu became very angry. Now the son is very angry, so what did he do? He took his bows and arrows up and flew back to Indra while he was going to his kingdom. Upon seeing this, King Indra immediately abandoned the false dress. He abandoned the false dress of a sannyasi, giving up the horse and made himself visible. He showed himself to Maharaj Prithu's son. Then the great hero, his name was Vijitashva. Vijitashva, the son of King Prithu, again took the horse and returned to his father's sacrificial arena. Since that time, certain men with poor fund of knowledge have adopted the dress of a false sannyasi. Since that time, it was King Indra who introduced this system. So there are some false sannyasis all over the world, India especially, who cheat the people. The general public think that, oh, he's a nice sannyasi, sadhu, and they follow his instructions. And some of the sannyasis wear red dress. Indra wore a red sannyasi dress. So these are actually cheaters. And Prabhupada writes a lot of purpose on that. So they are twice Indra tried to take the horse back, but he couldn't. Finally, he had to return and that horse was brought back. So let's move on from there. So the priests advised King Prithu, please don't kill Indra by yourself. Actually, King Prithu was about to kill Indra. He said, don't do that. And why? Because Indra he has a special position, in the heavenly planet. In the sacrifice itself, we chant the name of Indra. When they do Havan, his mantra is there sometimes, isn't it? Om Indraya Namaswaha. Om Somai is Chandradev. Somai Namaswaha, Suryaya Namas. So all these devatas' names are chanted. So this priest mentioned, you don't kill yourself. We'll do the job. So what did they do? The priest said, we are going to invite him with special mantras, very powerful mantras. And he will be attracted, he will come. Because our mantras are so powerful, he can't resist. So we'll chant the mantras and he will come here, right here. From Indralok, he'll come here. And then we'll cast him into this fire, burn him. That's what they mentioned to the king. Very powerful. So you have heard that Vedic mantras are so powerful that not even, there are some examples. I wrote some examples, I don't know where. Okay. One, and they said this mantra was never used before. In this verse, it says, which were never before used, calling someone from heavenly planets or any other planners. Just chant mantra and that person will come. It was never used before. And they said they will certainly come. And thus the power of our mantra, using our power, mantra power, we shall cast him into this sacrificial fire. Because he's your enemy. So Indra became enemy of Prithu Maharaj. And he didn't want him to complete successfully the last horse sacrifice because he will take his position. But that was not the, I think, intention of Maharaj Prithu, taking Indra's position. Okay. So by perfectly chanting Vedic mantras, one can perform many wonderful deeds or feats, isn't it? We have read in our scriptures, like Maharaj Dashrath had no sons. We just finished Ram Navami, isn't it? So he was worried. When he saw in the mirror his hair was turning gray, then he got worried. I have no sons. If I leave this planet or if I die, who will take over the kingdom of Ayodhya? He got worried. So he went to Guru Vasisht. Guru Vasisht said, don't worry. Don't worry. You will have not only one, but 4 sons. And there will be not ordinary sons, definitely. The Lord will come himself. And then he said, okay, you have to invite somebody who can chant, mantras, and you will have to perform a yagna. So what was the name of the rishi? Prabhu? Shringa, Rishi Shringa. You invite him, he will perform a putresti yagna, and he will chant special mantras, and then the queens will give birth to 4 sons. So you know the katha, then Rishi Shringa performed a yagna, then fire god, Agni Dev came up with kheer, whatever they call it. And he told King Maharaj Dashrath, go and share this kingdom or distribute it among your queens. Definitely, that's Mahaprasad, and they will eat it and they will have children. So can you see the power of mantras? Very powerful. That's one example. Another one, they use mantras to get the weapons, celestial weapons. They chant the mantra and the bow and arrow come, Brahmastra and other astras. Brahmastra is this nuclear weapon. They used to just chant the mantras like Arjuna used to chant mantras to get those weapons. Even Lord Ramchandra was chanting mantras to get his weapons down. So these mantras are very powerful, but you have to, usko siddha karna. You have to perfect it. And how you can do it, you need a spiritual teacher who can help you, guide you, how you can perfect these mantras. Like who taught Arjuna and them? Who was the guru? Dronacharya. He knew all those mantras. So he delivered it, bestowed it to Arjuna and those Pandavas. And they were given these weapons, which you can't see, invisible weapons. But when you chant mantras, they'll come. They use the Agniban. Agniban means Agni means fire. Fire, arrows. They can shoot an arrow and there will be huge fire. They could use this rain one too. So the opposition will issue fire Agniban, the other one will fire rain ban to finish the fire. So they were so powerful, and many kinds of weapons. Anyway, so to get those, you have to perfect your sadhana and then do all those whatever processes. Okay. So next point is, in Kali Yuga, we don't have such brahmanas who can, even chant mantras properly, to do big yagnas like Lord Ramchandra was doing. He also performed Ashwamedh Yagna. And in that sense, he sent his horses all over the world. And anyone who accept defeat will just give something to, the soldiers would take the horses all over the planet, kingdoms, different kingdoms. Doesn't mean of course, there was one king, Lord Ramchandra was the king, but he was king of the whole planet. But there were other smaller kings who were under him. But if anyone refused, then they had to fight Lord Ramchandra's army. So no one could do that. So they accepted him. So that's Ashwamedh Yagna too, a kind of, what was it? Ashwamedh Yagna? Yeah. So, but what is forbidden in Kali Yuga is to sacrifice animals. This is forbidden. In Kali Yuga, we should not sacrifice animals, but it is going on. When I was young, it was going on in my village in Fiji. Sacrifice animals. And then after that, take that as prasad. Yeah. Yeah, goat, pigs. They were so powerful, maybe in himself or itself. Or they will leave it in the bush. Wow. Yeah, but in our case, I said they had to go and buy the thing and bring it, because, and yeah, and then sacrifice the animals. So mainly to Kali Mata, they were saying Kali Mata and Bhairo, Kali's son, they were doing this sacrifice. Okay, so these sacrifices are still going on in different places, and even in India and other cultures were doing animal sacrifice. Even Lord Jesus stopped killing of goats and sheep. Lord Jesus in Jerusalem, in that part of the world, they were doing this sacrifice too. But our Shastras say in Kali Yuga, this must be stopped because we don't have that perfection of mantras. You can't give them a better life. And purpose of doing sacrifice is you are eating it, which is forbidden even, one of the sinful activities. You eating the meat of these animals, so that's prohibited. So that is forbidden. No animal sacrifice. And remember that Katha Jad Bharat? Jad Bharat was, well, his next life. After he was Bharat Maharaj, then he became Jad Bharat in his next life. So when he was reborn in a Brahmana family, a good family, and then he pretended to be, when he grew up, he pretended to be dumb and a foolish guy, something. He pretended. He didn't want to miss the chance of going back to Godhead. So people ignored him. Jad Bharat. Jad means kind of, not much happier, mad. So Jad Bharat was, so they gave him some jobs. Okay, you sit in the farm and chase the birds and animals away. They're eating the grains. So he was sitting on the farm and chanting the holy names and remembering the Lord. He was meditating all the time. He was very careful. This time I don't want to miss. I must go back. So one day these dacoits, डाकू लोग, इंडिया में अभी भी डाकू लोग हैं, no? So these dacoits normally did Kali Puja, and they used to sacrifice humans. So the priest said, go and look for one. This is our animal puja. We need one human being to be sacrificed. They went to the villages and they found Jad Bharat alone on the farm. So they grabbed him and took him to the to their worshipping place, and they gave him a nice bath with haldi and all those things, and prepared him to be sacrificed at the altar of Kali Mata. And when the main person who used to do that, as soon as he was about to cut him or kill him, Kali Mata came out of the altar, jumped, and she, with her, she has eight bhuja, and she has all the weapons. With that, she killed all the Dakus. You can't kill this person. He's a Vaishnava. He's a devotee of the Lord. So Kali Mata killed all those Dakus herself. So you can see that means that we should not be sacrificing. From this katha, we should not sacrifice even animals to Kali Mata. I don't think she takes that. I don't know what the story behind it, but it says that she doesn't take it. The ghost followers, Lord Shiva's friends, and lots of ghosts, Lord Shiva's क्या कहते हैं, उनके साथ में रहते हैं, Bhoot, Pisach, and all kinds of these, evil things. Lord Shiva is very merciful. He tries to liberate them, somehow. उनको भूत से निकाल के कुछ और अच्छा योनि दे, इसलिए लॉर्ड शिवा बहुत दयालु है. तो उनके खाने पीने के लिए प्रबंध करते हैं. तो she gives, Yeah, it's not for the people to eat, it's for those people. Anyway, so this is really forbidden in this Kali Yuga. And then, okay. So, and then finally, the only sacrifice recommended in this age of Kali Yuga is Harinam Sankirtan. Sankirtan Yagna is the sacrifice for Kali Yuga. Nothing else will work. Doesn't work. This is the prescription given by our scriptures, which is given by the Lord himself. And in, I remember that a little verse, the last verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam right now. And last verse in 12th canto is Nam Sankirtan Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. Pramano Dukh Shamanas Tam Namami Hari Param. So in Kali Yuga, the only sacrifice that we have to perform is Nam Sankirtan. And which sanstha is performing Nam Sankirtan in Kali Yuga in this world now? Hare Krishna movement is only doing that. Srila Prabhupada has spread this, and this is the process recommended in our scriptures, recommended by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, recommended by Lord Shri Krishna. Nam Sankirtan Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. Once you chant the holy names of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sarva Papa Pranashanam. All our sinful will be gone, sinful reactions. And then we should pramano dukh shamanas. All dukh will go, all the miseries. Tam namami harim param. We should bow down, do dhanvat to Hari, Lord Hari. This is the process. And we are so, we can say, so fortunate that somehow or other we are in this Hare Krishna movement and we are following the scriptures. We are following, trying to become a devotee of the Lord, chanting his holy name. And we also have taken it says here we should have a spiritual master who will teach us, guide us, and by his mercy he will be able to take us back, and no more birth, death, old age, and disease. Okay, so so today's verse What do you think is the most important thing that you have learned in today's class? That's it. The only yagna for this Kali Yuga is Harinam Sankirtan, Sankirtan Yagna. And those who have been performing and following this yagna, you can see their life has transformed. There's this evidence. Your life, our life has been transformed just by chanting and associating with devotees, following and reading Shastras. We are not doing this animal sacrifice. Our forefathers were doing, but we have stopped. It's not for this age. By just chanting and doing Sankirtan Yagna, we can go back to Godhead. So Prabhupada and our Guru Maharaj said, chant your 16 rounds very attentively, quality chanting, and follow 4 regulative principles properly, strictly, you will go back to God. Okay? And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says 2 things. Vaishnava Seva, Nam Sankirtan. I think there was another thing. Jivadaya. 3 things. Jivadaya, Vaishnava Seva, and Nam Sankirtan. If you do these 3 things, you are qualified to go back. Jivadaya means be merciful. Have mercy on all living entities. Jivadaya. So there is no chance. If you have mercy on all living entities, there is no chance of killing anyone. Jivadaya, Nam Sankirtan, chant the holy names of the Lord, and there are many things. Just that's the one most important one. And like distributing prasadam and distributing Prabhupada's book, these are all Sankirtan, part of Sankirtan Yagna. Jivadaya, Nam Sankirtan, and Vaishnava Seva. Serve Lord's pure devotees. Serve each other too. Vaishnava Seva. We are trying to be Vaishnavas. So serving each other is so important too. So that's it. So please do that, and our lives will be successful. Bolo Shri Radha Gidhari Bhagwan ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Anant Kori Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Thank you very much. Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Huh? Yeah, it is. The mantras are so. I'll tell you my real example. When the first Rath Yatra cart, not cart, bull, oh, Loknath Maharaj came, and I joined there, and I was an initiated there. Thank you, Professor. No, look, big crowd. There was no way. Friends, anyway, and there was friends